They are insufferably annoying. Aren't these the people who are all equity? Aren't these the same people? The ones that are now saying, yeah, terrorism is justified when talking about resisting whatever the hell they think they're resisting. Do they know what they're resisting? Do they even know? I don't think so. Like, what is I think it's all, like I said, organized disinformation. I think it's a very organized effort to question the right of defense. And ultimately, that's what this comes down to in some respects. Again, I keep going back to how the left uses these tired formulas and they just switch out the variables. It could be the same equation, but they're going to switch out the numerals in it. So instead of 2 plus 2 equals 4, it'll be 4 plus 4 equals 8. They'll just switch out the variables and they'll put, it's the same formula though. So in the United States, if you're a law-abiding person with a firearm and someone tries to murk you and you use your firearm in self-defense, you're the bad guy according to these same people. So same thing applies that they're having it apply to Israel. Hamas broke the ceasefire again, attacked Israel again, this time killing more Jewish people in one day, not seen since a record not seen since the days of the Holocaust. And Israel's somehow the bad guy because they're defending themselves. So you see a trend here. Same thing. And these people that just discover this letter that's literally been on the internet for 20 years. I mean, I read it a long time ago, and I was like, oh, geez, this guy's so deluded. I mean, he just doesn't like Jewish people. I wish that some of the people who are calling for ceasefire would just come out and say what they really mean. You just don't like Jewish people. Just say it. Right? Come on. But to my point, aren't these the equity people? When you look at all the people doing these videos and they're talking about Osama bin Laden, and maybe he was right in the stuff that they're tweeting, which is wild. These are the people that are the pronoun people, the rainbow flag people, people that would get murked day one in the Middle East for just existing as they choose to exist. So I just, I got some questions. That seems to be pretty inconsistent. It seems pretty inconsistent. So I don't know. I just saw another one of these videos, and it's all these progressive women. I just watched his letter to America, and he is explaining, or I just read his letter to America, and he was explaining in it why what? There have been thousands of these. So I think several things are all at once, including this one lady who, okay, sidebar, do I want to say anything about the mole on her face? Hold on. Well, what's the line from the movie? You should have a rat chew that off. I'm just saying. Anyway, this is like some of the stuff they're all these like progressive women, and they're getting up there. I just, I read his letter, and I just, it's really, I'm having an existential crisis. Do you even know what that phrase means? All of these chicks saying the same thing. So two things. It's either organized, purposefully for disinformation, or a lot of parents failed, which I still think both could be true. A lot of parents failed. Why is it like a big thing? It's been out there for 20 years, and these people are just like, I just read it, and it's all different. And it's just all very conveniently done as a way to explain why they back Hamas and they think terrorism is a legitimate form of protest. That's what this is all about. I'd like to know who some of these people are, although I think some of this wasn't in the U.S. Just saying. A few other things to touch on, too. Because where's this? I wanted to find the way CNN, was it CNN? I wanted to find the way that they wrote about this. So the Jewish protester who was killed in California, I don't know if you guys saw the way that CNN worded the headline. The guy, Paul Kessler, he was killed. He was by this guy who targeted him because he was Jewish. He was a pro-Hamas dude. Remember, he hit him on the head with his megaphone, and then the guy fell back on the sidewalk, and it killed him. So they arrested this 50-year-old dude in connection with the death of this Jewish protester. This is the headline. Let me pull this up. Quote, arrest made in death of Jewish protester who fell and hit his head. Wow. So I have a question. How do you arrest a sidewalk? An arrest made. He just fell and hit his head, the protester. They actually don't. So I was reading the story. They actually don't get into it until like later on in the paragraph. Even though there were tons of different videos there with tons of different perspectives. Like here's where they said, well, witnesses say they were involved in a physical altercation. But it's unclear what interaction Kessler and Loesch had before the incident. None. The guy's just a nut job Jew hater, and he went over and hit him with his megaphone and knocked him down. You realize that acknowledging the reality of certain situations does not make you like a stooge for somebody, right? Can I just address that for one moment? Because I'm getting real tired of seeing some of this stuff. I don't see this really on the left. I see it from like stuff on the right, where they're arguing with each other. I have a friend who was actually writing about this and saying, why don't they ever talk about the guy that's being investigated for this guy's death, et cetera, et cetera. And someone else was like, oh, he fell and hit his head. And my friend who writes for a conservative website was like, it's more than that. This guy hit him, and there's witnesses and there's other camera footage that hasn't even been made public. And they're like, why are you such a shill for Israel? That's what they asked her. Like, if you acknowledge that they were attacked, that this guy was attacked and killed because a dude hit him with a megaphone, then somehow you're a shill for this Jewish dude. Or if you acknowledge that Israel was attacked and that Hamas attacked them and that they are defending themselves and they have every right to, then somehow you're getting paid or you're a shill for Israel. That's blood libel. That's not disagreeing with the government. That is anti-Semitic BS. And I'm tired of seeing stupid-ass conservatives, wannabe conservatives who were literally progressives a heartbeat ago, try to put that out there as like a legitimate criticism that has any roots in conservative thought. Have the courage to come out and just say that you don't like Jewish people. Don't try to fool the rest of us who aren't as intellectually vapid and know better.